So basically everyone on the internet last night absolutely destroyed Ted Cruz because he tried in a totally disingenuous way to criticize Joe Biden rejoining the Paris Climate Agreement. And so Ted Cruz basically said the following: by rejoining the Paris Climate Agreement, President Biden indicates he's more interested in the views of the citizens of Paris than in the jobs of the citizens of Pittsburgh. This agreement will do little to affect the climate and will harm the livelihoods of Americans. And so what he's trying to suggest is that somehow the Paris Climate Agreement, which is an international agreement including the vast majority of the world's nations, the US is basically a pariah in not being a part of it, was somehow drafted by the people of Paris. When, of course, that's not how it works. It's called the Paris Agreement because it was largely designed and convened and stuff in Paris. It's not like the citizens of Paris, France, got together to decide this, and then the rest of the world either chose to sign on or not sign on. Of course, Ted Cruz knows all of this, but he's trying to draw in on a conservative dislike of French people and of Europeans, and this is a hoity-toity European agreement, whereas the hard-scrabbled blue-collar folks in Pittsburgh, they know the real story. And this is all Ted Cruz's effort to pretend like he gives a damn about the working class. But a lot of people made some really good points about why this is ridiculous. For the most part, we have to remember that Ted Cruz hates democracy. He was one of the key instigators of Trump and the Trumpian thugs that attacked democracy 15 days ago now. He is one of the people, one of the most responsible people for what happened that day, and he has not faced consequences yet. So somebody saying, Biden doesn't care about the citizens of Pittsburgh, Ted Cruz doesn't care about the citizens at all, because he thinks that when convenient, their votes should be thrown out, right? Like that's what he's saying. And in particular, we have to remember that he tried to throw out the votes of Pennsylvanians because their votes were significant as a swing state. And in particular, people in Pittsburgh as blue state voters, he wanted to exclude them most of all, because those voters in Pittsburgh are part of the blue contingency in that swing state. There's a great tweet here by Brian Tyler Cohen. He's he's a progressive YouTuber. He says, "You tried to disenfranchise every citizen of Pittsburgh by throwing out the results and the entire state, but sure, tell us more about how you're looking out for the people of Pennsylvania. Also, Pittsburgh came out in support of the Paris Climate Agreement. Dear God, you're bad at this." And he's right, because the mayor of Pittsburgh, Bill Peduto, he's come out when Trump left the agreement to say, we actually are still going to, at the municipal level, as much as we can, follow the deal, the bargain of the Paris Climate Agreement. So we're going to ignore you and follow Paris. And they say here in this headline, we stand with Paris and not with Trump. So the directly elected representative of Pittsburgh, of that city, is with Paris, quote unquote. Just showing that Ted Cruz doesn't actually understand the working class demands and desires. And AOC, as she often does, is one of the best people at destroying Ted Cruz. She's been the leading voice in calling for him to resign over the past couple weeks, and she's been right to do so, and she destroys him here again when she says, "Nice tweet, Senator Cruz. Quick question. Do you also believe that the Geneva Convention was about the views of the citizens of Geneva? Asking for everyone who believes U.S. senators should be competent and not incite insurrection against the United States." So basically, AOC is saying, look, you think you're this guy standing up for regular people, but much like, I noted earlier, this is a man that would use anything and include in instigating violent action to preserve his own choice of government. So again, this is not a man that actually respects democracy. And this is beyond the fact that, we need to realize that this idea that working class people don't care about the environment, and that the environment is only something that matters to elite privileged liberals is wrong. Certainly, there are segments of the working class that work in certain industries that maybe are carbon intensive. And for those workers, we need to ensure a just transition away from, carbon capitalism. But it's often also those workers and other working class communities and other racialized communities that face the brunt of environmental danger. That when water is bad, when air is bad, when soil is bad, when these things are bad, it most often affects working class people. Again, especially if they're racialized working class people. So when Ted Cruz tries to suggest, we shouldn't care about the Paris Climate Accord because of the working class of Pittsburgh, the working class people in the United States need and deserve a Green New Deal that will not only give them good jobs, but give their children and grandchildren an environmental future to live in. And so don't listen to people like Ted Cruz. Just know and be happy about the fact that when the chips were down, the internet just came together to roast this anti-democratic, disingenuous hack of a ghoul. Even Greta Thurnberg got involved here, where she was like, so glad that Joe Biden has rejoined the Pittsburgh Climate Accord. Ted Cruz is a monster. He hates the environment. He doesn't give a damn about the working class. And he needs to either resign from the Senate or be expelled from the Senate.